I'm Karyn Bryant for MMA Heat. I'm here with Rashad Evans. He's a former champ of the world, and you're going to be contending again in March on the 19th. You'll be fighting Shogun. And I'm glad you came to talk to me today because I want to get your side of the story. I asked Dana the other day if it was fair to let you take this much time between your Rampage fight and the Shogun fight, because with Shogun coming off an injury, people see it as an advantage for you, that you had all this time to study film and get yourself ready, where he has not been able to have that opportunity to be as ready physically. So how do you see it?
I wouldn't say it's unfair. I mean, it's just the way it worked out. You know, I was given the option to fight him after I beat Rampage, became the #1 contender. And in that time, they offered me another fight, and I didn't take it. I didn't feel like it was the right business move for me to do, or right move for me to do in general. So I decided not to do it. But I mean, physically speaking, you know, they say he might be. He's going to take the fight. Whenever he takes the fight, he's going to be healthy to do it. So he's going to have 8 weeks to train, or however long he chooses to train. Just like I'm going to have 8 weeks to train. So it's a matter of what he does at that time.
So are you willing, though, to tell us who that fight was that you were offered?
Yeah, they wanted me to fight Little Nog. Okay. And I was like, why would I fight Little? I didn't see the point of fighting Little Nog. Because
it doesn't progress you forward anywhere?
It doesn't progress me forward anywhere. And I mean, at the end of the day, you do want to get paid and stuff like that. But fighting is more than just about going there and prove how tough I am. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm tough. I know I can fight. You know what I'm saying? I don't fight to prove that I'm a badass. I fight because I like to fight. I fight because it's competitive, and I fight because it pays well. But at the same time, you got say I have 2 roads to go down, or two doors open. One leads to you know, getting money this way. I mean, one leads to both leads to getting money, right? But which door leads to getting more money? Which door? I mean, if I go down the road to get a title, then I'll probably make more money than I would if I take the short money by fighting Little Nog.
Right. Okay. And there's also the idea that if you fought Little Nog and you didn't win, then you wouldn't get your chance at Shogun, right? Right.
I mean, that's always a possibility. A fight's a fight, you know? I believe I can beat anybody in the division, but at the same time, why take an unnecessary risk when you don't have to?
I understand that, and I know that, you know, title shots are hard to come by, so a lot of people have said that, yes, that was the smart thing to do, because that way you're guaranteed that you get your title shot, nothing will change. Yeah, I mean,
Dana has a business to run. You know, if everybody thought like I did as a fighter, then he'll have a very hard time sometimes, because you know, a lot of times the fighters don't think of themselves as a business. A lot of times the fighters think, oh, I'm a fighter, I'll fight anybody. But when it comes down to it and somebody's making money off of you, you got to be smart enough to think, okay, how can I benefit for this? How can I benefit from it? It's not just all about going there and fighting all the time.
But he said you were insane for not staying busy, though. He said better fighters are busy fighters, essentially, and that now, he says it's not an advantage really now, because he's saying you're going to have nearly equivalent ring rust, you know, and so he was saying that he thought you should have stayed busy just to become a better fighter.
If you think Dana White is going to lose in his sleep if I look rusty in the ring, you got to be goddamn crazy. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the bottom line is this right here. Dana's looking out for what Dana has to look out for, and I don't mind him for doing that. Dana White has built a great business in the UFC, and I appreciate that. But at the same time, you know, I don't think me being out is going to, you know, give me any more ring rust than I would. I mean, I'm not going to forget how to fight.
You're not sitting around eating Fritos.
I'm not going to forget all this. Oh my God, how would I fight? I know how to fight, you know. So I don't think it's going to you know, hurt me in any way if I take. Now, if I'm taking years and years off, of course it's going to hurt me, and I'm not training or not putting myself in with training partners who are still competing at the level, then of course it's going to hurt me. But it's not like I'm at home sitting around not training with anybody who's on the level. I'm still out there training with the guys who are still competing on a regular basis, you know, with George and with John Jones and with all my other teammates. So, I mean, for him to think that I will get so much ring rust that I'll forget how to fight it's ridiculous.
Well, the shake weight workouts appear to be killing it.
Yeah,
it definitely seems like it's working for you.
See, give me strong.
Right. How about this, though? Shogun is definitely going to be a challenging fight. I know when we talked before, you said you've figured it out. He's obviously known for that big right hand, and that's something that a lot of people have to worry about. But do you find that in studying, I mean, I'm sure you have been studying a little, right? So have you found that you believe now you've figured out the combination of how to beat it? Because he's so aggressive, right. You know, his Muay Thai is fantastic, and he's just he just presses you. You know, I mean, you got to. He's going to bring the fight to you. You know.
That's easy for me if he brings the fight to me.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, I mean, I've seen weaknesses in this game.
Yeah.
You know, I see areas in which I can exploit, but once seeing it on film or seeing it, you know, and going through it in practice is one thing. Actually going out there and seizing the opportunity when it's there is another. So I have to really see when it comes time to it, you know.
Right. And people definitely think that your wrestling is going to be a big element. We saw that, you know, he's had trouble with that before. Takedowns, you know, defense may not be the strongest point. So I'm imagining your wrestling is going to come in just a little bit.
I mean, yeah, of course, I'm a wrestler, you know, that's what I do. You know, I think that if I get too far from what I do, then I lose the essence of who I am, and I don't want to do that. You know, I've done it before in the past, and it didn't lead me down a great road. So I want to, you know, stay true to who I am.
Yeah, we talked about that before. You were saying you got away from the wrestling, and some of the fights, you know, got a little bit closer for you.
Yeah, I mean,
and then you got to bring it back. But now, are you concerned? There's been that backlash a little bit lately that people are saying, oh, the wrestling style is boring now.
Yeah.
So now you've got these opposing things of, I want to keep my wrestling there because that's my strength, but I need to throw some punches and get some knockouts because that's what the crowd is demanding these days.
I mean, you know what? To be honest, I want to go in there and knock somebody out too. I mean, who the hell wants to go in there and wrestle for 15 minutes? We can go in there and knock somebody out in 3 minutes. It's definitely something that I would like to do as well. But at the same time, you got to think that I know how to fight. You know, and knowing how to fight is a gift and a curse, because I know, like, okay, if I go in there and do this might give me this result. If I go in there and do that, it might give me that result. And I want to stack the odds in my favor as much as possible. I'm not saying I want to go out there and be a boring fighter and just make it not exciting, because I am there to entertain. But at the same time, I want to win. So how do you find that medium? How do you find that medium where it's like, I'm going to win, but at the same time, I want to be entertaining. And I like you go in there and you fight and you get hit, but I don't want to go in there and get my face off. Look how pretty I am already.
Well, plus we talked about, you know, your psychology when you're fighting, about how for you it is about playing, and so your spirit is definitely there to play and be excited and have fun.
Right.
So,
I mean, sometimes you go. Styles make fights too. You know, sometimes you go in with a fighter and they give you a great opportunity to, you know, you look good going against them. You know, and sometimes your opposites match up and it's in your favor, but sometimes you go in there and it's just an ugly fight. Like, sometimes I see somebody fight, I'm like, I don't want to fight him. It'll just be not because he's tough, because it'll just be stylistically an ugly fight, you know. And sometimes you get the call and you got to fight those fights. So it all depends on the matchup too, you know. I do want to go in there and start banging a little more, because I like the punch, you know. You know, when I train and practice, I love to spar. So, I mean, I'm not afraid to get hit. I can take a good shot, and I exchange with some of the best of my time. So, I like to have the knockout, but it don't always work out like that.
Nice. Well, we'll see. It's only weeks away, so.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I would love to go in there and put him to sleep, because then everybody be like, oh my God, Rashad, he's the greatest fighter. I mean, you know how it is. Like, every single time, you're only as good as your last fight. If you knock somebody out, then you're the greatest thing ever. And if you don't, then you're trash. That's how. Well, no, it's true. And you know, Shogun has a big fan base, and people do think he could stay champ for a long time. I mean, when people made those predictions, like, he's one of those guys that could stay there a really long time. I get tired of what people say.
Yeah.
You know, I get so tired of what people say, because before that, they were like, oh my God, Machida, he's unbeatable. No one's ever going to figure out a style. He loses. Oh my gosh, Machida, his style sucks. You know, I mean, people got bad things to say about him all of a sudden, you know, but before, he's untouchable. And let's not forget, like, you know, before the Machida fights, Shogun wasn't looking the best either. People were like, dang, what happened to Shogun? That's what they were saying. Like, he looked like he was washed up. So you can't forget that, you know. I mean, he's doing great now, but who's to say how long he can hold a belt?
Well, we'll see. March 19th. We'll see if it's back around your waist.
It will be.
It's going to be a great fight, regardless. I know that.
I mean, I'm gonna go in there and have fun. That's all.
It can't not be good. That's all I'm saying.
Nah, it can't be. I mean, it's going to be a good fight. I mean, he's gonna bring the action. It's gonna be a battle, you know. And he's got you know, for his first title defense, coming off a knee injury. You know, he's gonna be trying to go in there and trying to make a statement.
You're not gonna let it happen.
Hell no. I can't let him get me like that. I can't let him get me.
That's Rashad Evans, former champ, hoping to be champ again. Thanks for spending time with us.
Oh, thank you for having me.